Alright lads.
We're back.
Fucking poster gobbler sitting in the middle there.
I thought it was more of a Londoner thing.
Alright, mate.
Was that what you were going? I thought you were going for the London.
Fuck knows, I'm just a bit nervous because I've not one down. I can't even speak! I've not done one of these for so long.
Fuck's sake, man, you sound like John McGlynn.
Oh Christ. What job? Wait.
I can just imagine that's the way he's talking to now though.
He's just stressed.
Like just talking to people like...
He's going to have no hair left. He's already got no hair.
Goals.
We'll come to him. How are you all doing? Thanks for the views on the pre-Old Firm documentary. Kieran Alder's like a proud dad because it was his idea and he wrote the script for it, so he was...
I'm also a proud dad because I sat up every night fucking editing it.
Oh, it's such a hard life. And Dev is just a proud dad. Jen? No, I was going to say because you've got a kid. The wee man turned 1 recently, didn't he?
Turned 1, aye. Right. Skint now.
I was going to say you'll be fucking...
His birthday on the Monday, apart from the Saturday, you know. All the missus' idea, of course. I was stressed out my box, absolutely stressed out my box. Not because of party, because it was fucking free each with Rangers and Ross County.
Oh, lovely.
Do you know?
Lovely.
So,
I'm doing good as well. Since nobody asked, I'll ask myself. I'm having a pint, courtesy of the G4 Claims studio.
Post work pint.
No much of heeding. Post work. This show is coming live to you from Tesco Parkgate. No bomb threats here though. Yeah. So.
Do you think I'll be able to claim emotional damages?
For...
Do you think they would accept something like that after last night, after the...
I've got a sniffle, I don't have COVID, don't worry. Sorry, let's talk about the game last night. You're just emotionally damaged at the best of times. We'll come to you first, Dev. Should we go to him first?
If you want.
Reo Hatate is very, very good at football and he was the star of the show. One of the many stars of the show for Celtic as they ran out comprehensive 3-0 victors. Rough?
No, do you know what? I've recovered now. This morning I was very rough. I mean, for those who watched my post-match reaction last night, it was a fun win. It's probably my favourite video that I've ever recorded.
You steaming?
Oh, absolutely. But I kept my wits about me, you know, didn't say anything too outlandish, just spoke the truth.
Yeah, he does that when he's sober.
From what I seen last night, because last night was absolutely tremendous, long overdue, and it's just the culmination almost of everything Ange Postecoglou has been working towards at Celtic. Dare I say, in my lifetime, I've never seen a more one-sided or better derby performance in my life.
The first half.
And I lived through some good fucking derbies a few years ago, but that yesterday was murder in that first half.
I thought the first half was more dominant. The only one that comes close was the Days won the league. And it was like 5-0 at half time. And it should have been about 10-0
at half time because scored right at the start.
That one
probably was, but I mean, that last night was probably as close to it as I've seen. Like the 5-1 in Rodgers' first season was more competitive than that game last night. Because think about it, it could have been 1 each at half time, could it not?
Yeah.
Yeah, or something. Mackay has a chance. And it could have been 2-1 at half time. But that was a lot more competitive because in that game. The Celtic goalie had saves to make, which didn't happen very often last night. How many saves did Joe Hart?
Joe Hart just turned. It was just vibes, mate. It just turned up. It was just there.
The first half absolutely blew you lot away, didn't it? It just. I don't even think Rangers have turned up yet.
No, I think that's
the first half.
Still waiting on the bastards to turn.
They were shell shocked, weren't they?
Honestly, 2 words, not good enough.
2 more, won't be back.
You know what you're going to get from Celtic. I actually watched a wee bit the podcast back we recorded after the first Old Firm.
Ooh. Just
to get the vibes of Ryan, if I was being smug or something like that. And
I couldn't tell you one thing about that game.
I couldn't tell you anything about that podcast.
I know
Orlando
scored, that's all I can tell you about that game.
Just realised
that podcast is
recording on the machine.
Oh,
you're going to start again now.
Unless you just keep camera audio for the first
one. Can we not just sync it up now?
We can start now.
No, there's no audio, there's less than no audio.
No, but we'll use the camera audio up to this point.
Use the camera. Welcome back. First show back.
Welcome back.
They'll be able to hear this.
No, I mean just welcome back to TSF in general.
Audio.
Better audio.
Aye.
Sorry about that.
We sync for you. Can't believe that. You had one job.
Is the camera audio that bad?
No, it'll be good. It'll be alright. But you...
Anyway, where were we?
Can we do that with the game or not? Just fucking forget a hand.
Where were we?
We were talking about Rangers being blown away in the first half because they were blown away. It was... I was... David and Viv, I was stunned. Honestly stunned at how poor Rangers were. I don't know if it's down to how good Celtic were as well because we were just unbelievable. But Rangers were so scared. And scared is a word. There's no other excuse. They were scared. Every single one of them. Callum McGregor calling Barisic a shite bag was absolutely gorgeous. By the way, I don't know if you've seen that clip.
I've seen that.
Oh, gorgeous. Rangers looked so scared. Every time they tried to go forward, they had to go backwards. There was no real ambition
Guys
about
like
them.
Barisic for sure.
And I just think it was a real... I don't want to use the word lacklustre because I didn't really care if they came and played or no. But
worse than
they had no ideas. They had no creativity. It's almost like they didn't know what to do with the football. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Beale, he's probably watching that game absolutely crying into his pillow because the build-up that he worked on for the last 3 years, that was gone. That was totally gone. I think you could see after the first 15 minutes or something like that, Rangers needed somebody in the middle of the park that was going to go and get on the ball and actually just calm it down a wee bit and try and get Rangers up the park. Do you know what I mean? Like
the two best people in the Rangers squad for that were both sitting on the bench.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who's the other one?
So Ryan Jack and Stephen Davis obviously, like, so I thought that's what Rangers needed in the first 15, but just to pull it back, obviously Celtic came out, the Rangers could not match the intensity. This has been a common theme all season. This is what Celtic have been all about all season. They can go in and get a game done in the first 10-15 minutes. They've done it a number of times, and that's pretty much what they've done. They get the early goal. I think the original game plan went totally out the window because I think Rangers would have tried to absorb a wee bit of pressure for the first 15-20 and then grow into the game. But then all of a sudden you're 1-0 down, conceding all sorts of chances, and you can't get out your own half. Then I did personally think I thought it quietened down a wee bit. Rangers did grow into it a wee bit more, got in the ball a bit. There was they didn't know, but there was a big opportunity for the big man Joe Rebo where he should have laid through Arfield.
That's right.
I don't know.
Oh, you overhit the pass.
He overhit the pass, yeah, and that would have been a 1-on-1. That's probably the only thing fucking Joe Hart had to do all night.
You make that goes 1-8.
And then right after that, Hatate scored the second.
Yeah.
And then it's all about getting to half time.
Yeah.
And then fucking Borna Barisic was doing.
He had to be seated, right?
What the fuck was he up to?
Just
It's one of the worst performances.
He didn't slut her up, so he was fuck me.
But also, I mean, I think the team selection was ridiculous. I know Bassey's been playing, but why didn't Balogun start that game at centre half? Why are you playing left back at centre half in an Old Firm game?
I know.
Fucking, and a young left
Bassey
back
came in and he done a job at centre half, but in the last couple of games, he was getting some good performances, to be fair, as well. But like the last couple of games, it hasn't been at the same level. Ross County, for example, he missed a ball that he could easily have cleared. So for me, I think Leon Balogun, if he's there and he's fit to play, he should have played. He's seen that second half, he was a lot better than him, obviously.
And was Balogun not fantastic in that first Old Firm game?
He played right back, He played right back in that game. But
so I can tell you something about that game. Came back to me.
There you go.
So yeah, they just started brilliantly. Celtic, they were just fantastic. I don't want to talk too much about Rangers in terms of the first half because the first half ball in Celtic. But one last little thing, you might not. Well, you would have noticed this. You wouldn't have noticed this because it was apparent on telly. Rangers kept taking short goal kicks. They kept giving the ball to Conor Goldson and they kept losing it straight away. And Alan McGregor was motioning to Tavernier and Goldson, "Fucking get up. We'll just go long." And they should have done that.
We'll go long to roof.
No, but even just play the percentages. Get the ball into Celtic's half, and if you lose it, they're fine. But they kept losing it 30 yards from their own goal. I just don't think Rangers were street smart. They weren't streetwise enough. Even stuff like getting the goal kicks, they were wanting to play it too quickly. Just take the sting out of the game a little bit. Just waste time 10 minutes in. I don't care. Just try and kill the sting, quieten the crowd down. They did none of that well. They played into Celtic's hands time and time again. But again, you said it earlier, was it Rangers were that bad or were Celtic tremendous? Celtic were phenomenal in the first half hour. And then again towards the end of the half, they came right back alive again. But yeah, it was just unbelievable. Hatate, that is the best 45 minutes I've seen from a footballer in Scotland in a long time. And I actually thought...
And he's not even fit.
He gets 2 goals and an assist, right, which is the standard thing. I just thought his general performance was unbelievable. He was absolutely everywhere. Like, he was in his own box winning tackles. The next minute he was in the edge of the box putting one in the fucking corner.
I'm sorry, but nobody, and I don't care what you say on that other side of the table, Div, 14 weeks Aaron Ramsay or $1.5 million for Reo Hatate. There's one player there who is an absolute bargain, and there's one player there that's going to blow the other out the water, and it's Mr. Hatate. I'm saying it before Ramsay even plays, because 14 weeks for Ramsay compared to that is a shocking piece of business.
We'll see, mate.
It was a panic buy, wasn't it?
Panic of the century.
Well, they were talking, weren't they, for a week before, weren't they? So.
Yeah, I know, but it's not a long-term future plan. But again, Rangers need to... It's really important Rangers, I suppose, win back-to-back titles, isn't it? Just for the kind of mentality of the whole club.
But there's a lot to talk about in this game, a lot to unpack.
O'Reilly as well. Hatate gets all the headlines. I thought O'Reilly was phenomenal too. I said it on Twitter last night.
Hatate wasn't even $1.5 million. I think he was. No, yeah, he was $1.5 million.
I said it last night. O'Reilly's like Rogic with legs.
Yeah, O'Reilly's tremendous. MK Dons,
big, strong, he's
what a
powerful,
steal,
great
what a
runner.
bargain. If honestly, these clubs should be demanding more money from us, even though the
I saw.
teams are done.
I mean, MK Dons fans at the time were like
Gutted.
Yeah, and
They were
I think
absolutely
Birmingham
gutted.
were after him, and I think Birmingham are going quite well. Oh, is it Blackburn? And Blackburn are going really well in the Championship
You're
this
after
year.
everybody, isn't he?
Yeah,
Getting nobody.
But he was brilliant. And I thought Callum McGregor was phenomenal. It was
Running a bit like
150-50.
Zorro.
Yeah, and he was just winning everything, every second ball.
Class act as
And this
well.
is what I've said. We used to say it every time last season before an Old Firm getting Rangers will win the game in the middle of the park.
Aye,
And
that's
they did it time and time again, and they were just non-existent.
That's what I was apprehensive about going into it. Like, it was proven in the last, I don't know how many games versus Celtic, how to beat them. With obviously a previous regime. And I was very apprehensive going into it because that midfield was so important in the previous games. And then when you look at the last few performances from Rangers in the midfield, they've been pretty shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's been nobody in there. Like, I really like Glenn Kamara, but I don't like him in that system. Like, I don't think he's that type of player. Like, even if you look at Scotland, you know, you don't want John McGinn to play in the six. You want somebody like Billy Gilmore to play
Kamara's
there.
never a six.
And that doesn't mean John McGinn is a bad footballer. It just
Yeah.
means that he's better and he's good at that and kind of run
I
the
also
game.
think if Gerrard was in charge last night, he'd have played Aribo off the right. I'm convinced he would have done, and he'd have played Davis or Jack.
Yeah.
It's just what you do in that kind of game, and it would have been better for Aribo because it would have taken a bit of the pressure off him in terms of the defensive side of the work, and it would have allowed him to get the ball maybe and focus on going forward. Diallo looked out his depth, I thought.
I just don't think that they didn't really get the bottom in the best of positions.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Celtic's
it's very hard
fullbacks
to.
Last night, Celtic's fullbacks were unbelievable.
Yeah,
Really good
Juranovic was getting lots of
Juranovic
shouts for
is
man of the
just
match.
incredible.
Hatate gets it, but Juranovic was. Kent got the ball a lot and did fuck all
Like,
with
so,
it.
there's a lot to unpack from this game. A lot I want to talk about. But one point I've been dying to talk about because it's something that we're not really going to touch on the Select the Thunder because I think you need a Rangers fan for this sort of conversation. Celtic go top of the table. Pressure on Rangers now to try and keep winning games, get back up to the top. Now, are you worried in the slightest at all? Because I've been immensely fair over the last year, and everything I've said about Rangers, I've said it exactly how I've seen it. And every single week. Right now, I look at Rangers and I see the broken, nervous, cowardly mess that I seen 2 years
Hamilton at
ago,
home.
3 years ago, 4 years ago. I see Connor Goldson, James Tavernier, Ryan Kent, players who can't deal with an ounce of pressure. I see players who crumbled last night.
They did crumble
And
last night.
I seen them crumble against Ross County, and I seen them crumble against Aberdeen, and I'm ready to see them crumble some more this season. I would be fucking terrified as a Rangers fan right now.
Maybe you didn't see them crumble in your biggest year in your history, but did you?
Well, I love how
Didn't he?
I love how
He didn't he?
I love how 1967 has just been a
You know what? You know what I don't like about that comeback that you just made there. At the start of the 1967 season, that wasn't your biggest season.
I bet it was, but
It ended up being, but it wasn't at the start.
No,
It's
listen,
just
what I
not-
will say is I think obviously Celtic are now in the ascendancy and it's going to be a very important month for Rangers. They've got, I think, Hearts at home next and then Hibs following that. So they need to just get back to the basics and start winning football matches. Before the winter break, they were doing really well. The away performances weren't they unbelievable, but they were getting the job done in tough places to go. So they just need to get back to that. They've still got a very talented team.
Yeah, of course. But there's this narrative that was getting created by some, and I wouldn't say you're one of them, Div, but I see a lot of people saying Celtic were scraping by. A very false narrative. Yeah, we might not have been winning games 4, 5, 6-0, but we were dominating games and we were getting the results. Just like you were saying before the winter break, you might have not been doing well away in terms of performance, but
he's
you
getting
were getting the results.
That happens over the course of 38 games in a season as well.
Scraping
You're
by
not
is a
going to
good
be.
thing, is it not?
Of course it is. You're not going to be
it is.
blistering. You're not going to be absolutely unbelievable every game. I mean, it's fine margins in like a title race as well, because if you look at the game before, Celtic scored, what was it, like a 90th minute goal to obviously win the game, then Rangers conceding like the 96th minute. If that doesn't happen, we go into this game, and if Celtic won it, Rangers would have still been top of the league, I believe. So it's fine margins as well, and it's just about getting back to the basics and watching that game back, and I think it'll teach Gio a lot about his players as well. And I think he's a good in-game manager personally. I think he's seen that what was wrong and he fixed it at half time almost. I know it's hard to tell because Celtic almost took their foot off the gas a wee bit, but
I'm not so
you
sure
can't
that's the
argue
case.
that a guy like Ryan Jack came on, you know what I mean, they did really, really well and that's exactly what they
I
needed.
think Rangers dominated the ball in the second half. I don't think Celtic took the foot off the gas as such. I think they were knackered.
Yeah, of course, and again that's been a common theme of Celtic this season as well.
But
So
you can get being knackered when you're 3-0 up's good. But this is where the biggest compliment comes for Celtic's backline, because again, you're talking about narratives there. There's been a thing where people have just thought the Celtic have not been good defensive this season, when in reality they've been fantastic.
Best
you look at the stats and you look at... I think a lot of it comes down to the early season Europa League stuff where they had like fucking Near Beaton and Stephen Welsh playing centre half. But Carter Vickers and Starfelt have both been phenomenal recently. And were really good last night. Taylor, I thought, was really, really good. Juranovic was fantastic. Joe Hart is just so much better than anything they've had for a long time.
Oh, well, I think Fraser Forster's hurting there.
Yeah. But I suppose, and this is...
no, mate, listen, you want me to start with Joe Hart?
No, I don't. But Joe Hart, he seems to have he's got a command on his back line. He seems to be a character, a leader.
Fitted like a glove in this team.
So, yeah, he's been perfect fit for Celtic, and everything is going well.
It's just so
I actually thought Celtic's quietest player on the night was Jota.
Yeah, that's a mad thing to say.
He did much. He did well. Like,
I did alright, but
he's probably a 7.5.
I honestly think I think Celtic are really, really good, but I think I've seen them better.
Yeah, I think
I really do.
This
season, I think that they've
probably
had better performances.
I think so, and that's...
Do you know what I mean? Even if you look at the starting 11 of Celtic, how many of the players were making their debuts in this fixture? Tons. You just look at the midfield, it was Hatate making a debut, O'Reilly making a debut, Striker making a debut, Jota.
Juranovic played left back in the first game, did he not?
Oh,
aye. Jota as well. So there was so many debuts in this game.
Giacomakis.
Aye, and I think when you looked at the Rangers team, they were actually the experienced ones, but they didn't play like that.
Giacomakis is another one who was... I thought he had a good game, but
his movement was good.
Again, he was probably 7.5.
It was a handful, and that's what I asked of him. I wanted him to be... I think
the big moment from him was that one where he, when McGregor makes that double save and he goes and wins that header on back.
What I will say, but is...
He just leathered him, but cleanly, and it kind of let...
If Kyogo's playing, he probably scores a couple of them. But no taking away from the...
Kyogo missed some sitters though.
I know, but he would have probably been there maybe a yard quicker, and I think he'd have scored.
This is what I find fascinating, because I think when people said Giacomakis was coming into the team, Celtic would have to change how they play because him and Kyogo were vastly different strikers. I don't think we've seen much evidence of that personally. They've got different traits, but it doesn't change much.
I
just love the fact we brought in a jet-lagged player for a piss take at the end.
He did look tired, I thought.
I thought it was
he
great.
Was really tired.
Derek Ferguson
summed up. Derek Ferguson. That just summed everything up for me. I feel like I've sat here and I've not even said enough. I'm just buzzing, and there's so many things I'd like to say and bring up. I've only got such a limited time in this show, so I'll probably talk a lot more on my channel. But last night, Celtic were tremendous, and honestly, right now, I'm not going to come out and say the league's done. Celtic have definitely going to win
Celtic
this.
For the first time this season are favourites for the league.
This is the first time we've been top of the league since August 2019.
Yeah.
2020. It's a long time since we've been top of the league, and I'm not going to come and say it's over on that. But I looked at Rangers last night, and I seen a laughing stock at times. I really did, and that's just me being honest. But Celtic Park, the atmosphere, what a difference that makes as well. And that's what I mean, man. You got to... we had that video about the 8,000 fans, but last night, without a shadow of a doubt, is the best atmosphere I've ever experienced.
It was the same.
Because of obviously how the game went.
Exactly.
When you got 60,000 off the same hymn sheet, it makes
when Rangers
row at the end.
When Rangers scored in the last Old Firm game and all. With Hollander, the atmosphere was incredible, and then after the game it was the same thing. Everybody was absolutely celebrating, but it needs to be the right circumstances, obviously.
Again though, but that could go completely
the early goal just sits, everybody's just buzzing off that. But if it's Rangers that get the early goal, the place is just dead.
See, just a final wee point, and it's a minuscule, and it's not even a negative on Celtic's performance. It's just first half at Tynecastle, I thought they were phenomenal. First half last night, they were phenomenal. Both games they tired second half. It almost bit them in the arse at Tynecastle because they didn't take enough chances in the first half. Do you think if that game's 1-0 at half time, it could, if Rangers come out and it could be a different game?
I would have been worried for us in the midfield because the options weren't great coming off the bench. You had
Jack rattles the bar,
you had Sorrow and McCarthy coming on, for example, which wasn't going to be ideal if we weren't in that situation. But once again, it's that old-fashioned swings and roundabouts, ifs and maybes, all that kind of part. We were up, we done our job in the first half, and we were the better side, and we done what we done. There's no point. You've still got
Ideguchi, Rogic, and Turnbull to come back.
Yeah, exactly. So I just mean last night in isolation. Yeah. But it's one of those ones I feel like it's pointless to talk about because we got the job done. In retrospect, it's very well and good to say, but Rangers went on the game, so I'm not overly concerned. But I mean, before we do move on to other games, and before we might move on to different topics, I just want to quickly say, get it up. Every single person who thought Postecoglou would be sacked by fucking Christmas, get it right up.
He is having a good time, isn't he?
He's top of the league, he's won the League Cup, he's through the next round of the Scottish Cup, and baby, I am buzzing.
He couldn't have had a better start, and his recruitment's been phenomenal, but it looks like... I said pre-season it would take a miracle for Celtic to win the league. And I actually don't...
He's obviously the miracle there.
He's the miracle, man.
We can say a lot, right? We can say a lot about the Celtic players that performed last night. We can say a lot about Rangers being absolutely shite and guys like Barisic just shite in his cell. Like let's not beat around the bush. Don't see him fucking starting in the next game.
Would you drop him?
I don't know. Yeah, of course. I mean, he gets subbed at half time and Basikimon did a better job than him. But the difference for sure is your man there, Postecoglou. Like his tactics prevailed. Do you know what I mean? The amount of times that Lyle Abada was getting the ball in positions and Rangers didn't.
As well.
Exactly. He never even mentioned him. For me, he was right up there.
His knack of just appearing at the right time.
His knack of just being.
So a lot of credit needs to go to Postecoglou because his tactics are there to be seen, and he's still building and all. This team isn't where he wants it to be.
Crazy. I absolutely this is the first year of the project.
I love the way his,
of course, but a lot of shit can happen in football. You know what I mean? Swings and roundabouts, maybe a few injuries, this, that, and the next thing.
Celtic they've got 4 or 5 big players missing just now.
Yeah,
you know, do you know what I mean? Like these, you've got Rogic, Turnbull, Kyogo, Ideguchi. There's maybe one more I can't think, but I think that might be a 4 actually. But anyway, I mean, and Maida was just back, so I mean, you got that. One final thing is, the Abada was just saying there that Naki's got he's really good. His goal scoring record must be really good.
He's what is he? 20 years old.
I think he's got 10 goals.
20,
and see when
20 goals this season. He's contributed.
When he signed in the summer, he was kind of viewed as being one maybe for the future a little bit. I don't remember at the time being.
James Forrest does not get back in the starting 11.
No, but he's got a role to play. You can see that, and Ange obviously values him.
No, of course you can't undervalue a player that's been at the club but played 500 games.
Pace is gone.
Oh yeah.
Final point: now the first Old Firm game of the season was a much more competitive affair than that one, and Celtic at that time were fucking miles off where they are now. And you know, Celtic seem to be going in one direction. I can't see Celtic getting any worse. Do you know what I mean? It's going to take something big for them to go backwards. Rangers have got to find something somewhere.
That's what I mean by they need to just get back to the basics and need to win this game against Hearts.
What, do they change shape? Do they change...
personnel also, you know what I'm saying?
I was saying this to him yesterday.
Ramsay's got to come in, obviously.
I look at the Rangers team and I look at like Gio and I just think they look really boring.
Oh, this is him.
I've just got this thing, I just think they're really boring.
Yeah.
I look at them, like I just look at the team that he picks and I'm like... You kind of know what everyone's going to do.
I feel like
it's a bit predictable. I think
it's easy for me to say as a Celtic fan, obviously, but I look at Celtic's team and there's players with just a lot of flair personality, energy about them. Everybody's like Joe Hart, for example, Juranovic, who's a wee character. You've got all these guys with flair in the park and flair off the park, so exciting. But then I look at, and this is just me being honest, I look at the Rangers team and I'm like, it's a bit boring. Because you think most teams, like, good team, if you have like a group of players, like they tend to have 3 or 4 years together and then you kind of need to change it up, it gets a bit stale. Because Rangers have just won their league title, most of this Rangers team have been together for 3-4 years now. Yep. It just feels a little bit stale to me when I look at it. They've got to get their fingers out, mate. You know what I mean? And what about the Gio outshouts? Oh, I've seen a few people. You're always going to get that. Twitter isn't real life. He's lost one game. It's mad, isn't it? It is mad. Aye, phenomenal. The last thing, the ball boys giving it to Alan McGregor was funny as fuck. Do you see that? Aye. That's what it's all about. You know, you see Van Bronckhorst moaning about that. Wind your neck in. Fuck me. Was he moaning about that? Was he? He brought it up. He wasn't happy at all, and I'm like, fucking grow up. I'm like, it's a bunch of lads being a ball. I would not give a shit. I think it was disgusting, and I think the match should be replayed. You might have seen it in the telly. Did you see the pitch invader at half time? Aye. What a turn that pace on him, by the way. Sign him up. I didn't see that actually. Fucking hell. I've seen a picture. He managed to escape as well. Right, let's move it on. What a win, but I've not got an agenda. Well, I suppose. I guess we'll just see how this season pans out. Is Ken Dog still wanting on? Have you even connected your Bluetooth on yet? No, I'll do it now as I'm talking. You press the button. The Edinburgh Derby. The Edinburgh Derby was, as usual, 0-0. Fuck me, man. Honestly, it was a weekend of the derbies, wasn't it? It was the midweek of the derbies. Two shockers. What's this called? This thing? The Road Procaster. That's right. Roadcaster Pro. Aye. So the Edinburgh Derby was 0-0, and it got a lot of slag, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good 0-0. I was sadly working, so I never got to actually see the whole game. I got a coupon up too. Cammy Devlin and John Neal Picard just play. I looked at the highlights and such of the game, and I agree with you, David. I don't think, in terms of, there's chances. I thought it was a decent enough. Kevin Nisbet was fucking horrendous. They should have let him go for 2 odd mil. They should have done. 4 million Birmingham offered, was it not? Was it 4? Because we were due for like 1.3 million. I can't connect to that. Oh my god. It's not coming up at all. So one man they did let go though. He's going to be a millionaire. Oh, Martin Boyle. Marty Boyle. See, his missus plays for the Hibs women's team. She stayed. Yeah, Robbie Nielsen obviously disappointed once again. The referees have cost him a game. How can he question decision making when he's still got that bar now? Oh no, his hair's a mess. I've just ripped off someone's tweet. If it's yours, I apologise. It's a state. But this time, look, listen, I hate Robbie Nielsen, and seeing him great is actually quite delightful half the time, and I'm used to it this season because after every game he does it. But I think in this particular case,
I think he's a wanker, but I'm warming to him now because I feel really sorry for him.
why do you feel sorry for him?
Because he's doing a fucking amazing job.
Aye, and why?
And Hearts fans want rid of him still. Ken Dog's still fuming.
Aye,
but
I think that's an ego thing,
But
innit?
I do, in terms of the Hibs game the other night, I do get where he's coming. I think that he's been very hard done by not getting a penalty in that game.
They should have 2 penalties.
2 penalties, exactly.
The first one on, is it Sims? Is it Stevenson on Sims? I can't remember.
Yeah.
And then the Stevenson handball with the indirect free kick was,
Aye.
he made his body bigger as a penalty kick. So they should have 2 penalty kicks. But I mean, Hibs dominated the first half, and I was a bit worried about Hibs because
No, a lot of chances though, was there?
no,
Like, you know what I mean?
they did really well in the wide areas. Cadden did well, Doig did well, but didn't really create enough clear cut chances. And then the more Hearts grew into it, I thought if anyone was going to win it, it would be Hearts. But then again, the big chance comes at the end. I think it was Josh Campbell. It's off the line by Sibic, and then Nisbet blazes over. But yeah, there was Hearts. I just think Hearts are going really, really well. They're on a great season.
I mean, they've secured 3rd place.
I would have said top
Fails.
6 would have been a success for Hearts.
Yeah, straight off
Aye,
promotion to get in the
agreed.
top half would have been huge. I underestimated them, obviously. I think I had them 7th or 8th in my predictions. I did not expect them to have this good a season, and as you said, I think that he's done a fantastic job there. And I do find it slightly bizarre that folks still aren't really warming him. The Hearts fans,
But
I don't care.
I think Hearts should have realistic ambitions to try to get a Scottish Cup this year.
Yeah,
Of
will I
course.
try and
Yeah,
because
Because
will I try and bring
get one
will I
for
try and bring them.
They're clearly the 3rd best team in the country, do you know what I mean? So they should
if
be.
they don't do it.
It's not a failure if they don't do it, know what I mean? But
Let's try and get.
what would guys like Adam say if they went and did that?
He'd be moaning anyway.
Probably. I hope he's not away to sleep. It is late, and I think that's him. There.
Hello.
That's Adam Kennedy.
Kendall.
There. Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Chapman Kenny.
Yeah, what's happening, boys?
No bad. I've been.
We're just slagging you off, mate.
Yeah, we're slagging you off. So I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Buick. He's going to direct you through this course of the show, because
It's an East Coast agenda that you lot have got.
you wish, mate. You wish. Right, David, take it away.
Well, we're just talking about the derby. First of all, you get your thoughts on the game first before we come take you to task on your comments. I was just saying that I from the neutral, I quite enjoyed it. It was a battling 0-0, not much quality in it, but what were your kind of thoughts?
I feel as though the first 0-0 was better, no?
I
don't
can't
know.
remember.
That was a good
I-
no, to be fair.
I just feel as though the first one, there was a lot more chances at either end. I don't know. I wasn't all that impressed with either team's performance, to be honest, come Tuesday night. So I think it speaks volumes that probably both teams' best players were a centre half. I thought Toby Sibic was immense for us.
Yeah, he was good.
And I thought Big Brian Porteous, I can't believe I'm uttering those words, was actually really good as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, disappointing. It probably sums it up that both centre-halves, like I say, were the outstanding men, if you will.
The first half, the Hibs were the better team in the first half, but they didn't create enough with it, and you still looked
Without a
reasonably
doubt, mate.
comfortable with the defensively. I said Sibic was good, because I think there was a lot of worries with no Suter, no Halkett, that it could have been a difficult night, but the defence seemed to cope well. Second half, though, you grew into it. I can't even remember how many. Was there even many clear-cut chances? I cannot even remember.
There was a
now.
few. There was maybe 3 or 4. The biggest one I remember was when
Sims
wee
had a few, didn't he? Sims had a
Barry
few.
put the ball on a plate, didn't
Sims
he?
looks a handful.
He does.
Like,
He
even
had a
against
few-
Celtic, I thought the same. I thought
He had a few chances, but yeah, you weren't happy, Adam. You think you should have won it?
I don't know. I wouldn't say that we deserved really to win it. I think Big Sims had a couple chances. I like the look at him. I know there's only 2 games that he's played, albeit against Celtic and now Hibs as well. But I think he'll create space for boys to hopefully kick on as well back on the goal front. But I wasn't happy with that first half performance. It was too negative for me, and I think going by performances in Glasgow, Celtic blew us away at Parkhead, just so passive in that first half. We were lucky against Rangers at Ibrox. I'm dreading going there on Sunday again.
You better
pish.
do us a fucking favour at the weekend. They're for the taking, them mob.
You need to calm yourself, Spitz.
Chances, mate. There'll be a lot of angry bears down Govan Way on Sunday afternoon.
Hope so.
I was just thinking that like Sims is a new one. How many like batshit mental crazy strikers have Hearts had over the years? He's always seemed to get random as fuck strikers.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
even get me
he's like the king of the quiz,
and then
the pub
they
quiz
usually
questions.
look shit hot after like a couple games. They'll bag like a goal or two.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks we're
Like
on
not
the winner.
Nandria
and
last year.
then they dry up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else was I going to ask you? I can't even remember. It did look like they were going to nick it at the end of that chance from Campbell. That would have been a right kick in the balls. Then you really would have been going for Nielsen, wouldn't you?
Absolutely shitting myself.
Aye.
Yeah, but lucky that we've got Kobe Civic to thank on that occasion. Because
Absolutely.
Gordon was beating all ends up, I think, for once as well. So
I noticed your Perth to Paisley partner Daniel's a lot more friendly with Nielsen and more complimentary than you are. Hearts are what 12 points clear in third.
10.
no, look, it's progress. Like you said it a
Nine.
pod or two ago when we were last on. It's progress.
Progress. It's about as good as Hearts can get. You're not going to get any better than
No, but-
that.
Hold on a second. There's still games where I'm frustrated at drop points. Look,
He wants to be
they're making up to
entertained.
do in the cup. To be fair, Auchinleck Talbot is somewhat made up, but he's talking about getting to the latter stages. And if we're as negative against the Old Firm as we've proved, and Hibs there, then I can assure you Hearts are going to be near a trophy. No
Yeah,
chance.
but if Hearts try and open up against Celtic and Rangers, they're going to get smashed to shreds. Are they
Gonna
not?
get shagged. Adam.
Not every game is tiny. It's different, I suppose. I understand. I completely understand. Actually, I think if Hearts are at Tynecastle against the Old Firm, I think that's about as close to an even match you're going to get with the Old Firm, and you can probably have a go.
If anything, I was probably more frustrated with the performance against Celtic first half. But then
Yeah, because I think the
recognised that
second
they're-
half showed that you could
they're
hurt
good.
them.
Yeah.
Mm.
So why not attack them from the off? That's
Yeah.
my frustration. But I don't know.
You're absolutely
Look,
right.
I'm content on the whole.
Content in the whole, just content. I'd love to be third in the Premiership and just be content. Anyway, I didn't actually get clarification.
It's February. I'm not getting too gassed.
Uh-huh.
I'm still pissed away from here.
You have secured third.
I didn't get clarification from this on Twitter. I really hope you're not coming to Somerset on Saturday.
No
You-
comment.
Oh, you're going to be there, are you? Oh, Christ.
Is that you? So you're
'Cause he was at the last Unfair Air game. And
are
he,
you a part-time airman?
Well, put it this way, I've been to Somerset 4 times and I've seen Ayr beat one team. And guess who that
It was
was?
us.
The mighty DA.
that was the day I hadn't been asleep when I went to football. Christ.
I remember back in the day when you done the championship show, how I would never have pictured it to be at this point now. Like, see when you two were just sitting there, both of you in the championship, one of you was relegation candidates in the championship a few weeks ago, and now in the other, third in the Premiership. It's madness. How
And also, we were
Came about.
just as fucking good as them every time we played them.
it's crazy.
There was a conversation for a while with Blood Dunfermline going to fucking push
See, this
Hearts
is,
and
we
win the
probably
league.
should have done in hindsight because we were quite close to them at the start of the season. Anyway, that's a whole different conversation. Adam, any final thoughts on the week's events? What did you make of the Old Firm last night?
The Old Firm was a surprise. I mean, I fancied Celtic to do Rangers, but not as comprehensively as that. I spoke to Dev briefly, albeit praising Ryan Jack's performance. I think even just writing up on Rangers there, that was probably the main positive.
The only
he was
positive.
The only positive thing you can take away, mate.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
So
Right, mate.
Yeah,
We'll let you go. If I see you on Saturday,
like I
I'm
say,
going to slag you
Loads
off.
The
of
man's
angry
talking.
bears.
Let the man,
Oh, it
let the
was
man
done, I
finish.
thought it
Let the
was
man
done.
finish. What were you saying, Adam? Sorry.
I was going to say there'll just be a load of angry bears come Sunday, so I'm silently shitting.
They're always
But
angry, aren't they?
fingers crossed.
Everybody's
If we
always
hang
angry,
in here
honestly, like-
like last time, you never know.
Aye.
Being a football fan is absolutely crazy.
It's
like.
not. I love the football now. I can't wait to go to the game on
You were an
Saturday.
angry man a couple of weeks ago. Right,
Right. I was a sad man.
Sad.
right, Adam. Thanks.
Who's the fickle fan now, Mr. Buick?
I'm the
Come
most
on.
fickle. No, I'm not.
Used to hear him in the motor there about fucking Graham Dorrans, man.
I love the guy.
Right, we'll let you go, Adam. Thanks for joining us tonight, though.
See you Saturday.
Really appreciate it.
Don't worry, fellas. See you.
All right, see you.
You take care.
Well, that was the lovely Adam.
Aye, so last
I wanna
time,
talk about the gym
last time he was there, Somerset we got humped, and that was this. We'll come at Dunfermline later on, but I think Graham Dorrans was
I
great.
think one thing that I just want to throw in, because it just crossed my mind talking about the game. Obviously, you play Hearts at the weekend, a game which, I mean, Ibrox against Hearts, usually with favourites, tough game. But I think one thing that is massively important as we talk about maybe the kind of pendulum swinging to Celtic's side at the moment. You know, that Celtic really need to keep it up. Celtic need to win against Motherwell. It's a tough game for Park.
Yeah.
You know, the what can be undone. Yous could be top of the league again by the weekend. That's the way it could go. This is going to be an exciting title race.
Oh, it is. It's going to be great.
Really
and also
exciting.
the whole mentality thing of chasing and defending is a different
Yeah.
mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might suit Rangers maybe having a little bit of.
And also, do you know what's massive in this as well?
I'd rather be
Realistically,
top of the league.
And Dev, I'm not going to sugarcoat my way around this because these are going to be out the Europa League, right? There's no chance that these are getting past Dortmund. Celtic are
Dortmund are average as fuck though without Haaland.
Well,
But
still a decent side.
they're alright.
Aye, but
It's going to be odds against.
you know, Celtic are realistically, I don't want to touch wood, going to get past Bodo. So you're looking at Celtic playing more games with the intensity that we play than Rangers, so that can also work into Rangers' favour as well. So it's going to be a very, very exciting.
You've not got that squad though, know what I mean? You've got that squad depth. I know that Lyle Abada went down again. What's happening with Abada? Is he out now? Is it a hammy or what? He went off last night.
Oh, fuck knows.
As if he's gonna fucking know.
It looked like a hamstring, so he might be out now for a few weeks. But the squad depth, I think, is there for Celtic to kind of do that now.
Right, I want to fly forward. We'll come back to Celtic as we get to the weekend's games. The other Derby was an absolute fucking stinker.
Don't even need to talk
I think
about
Dundee were quite good.
It was kind of even, like the both of them are just
not
awful.
A shot on target for United. I had money on United. I had a Hearts and United double fucking 0-0.
The both of them are absolute honking now, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'd rather be Dundee United honking than Dundee honking.
Aye, same, but they are on a
Dundee,
massive decline.
I think we've changed our opinions throughout the season, but I think Dundee's gone down.
St Johnstone have picked. They found some Saints recently.
Aye, maybe.
I think the January transfer windows helped St Johnstone.
Yeah, they made a couple of deals. I can't remember any of them they brought in. They brought in some loan players.
Well, Bush and Sifty, they've brought in.
But I didn't think Chief was that great a bit of business. Well, I mean, we'll have to see.
One of Celtic's iconic number 7s.
Yes,
he was unbelievable at Dundee United, him, man.
Phenomenal.
He's probably the best out of the lot.
Championship player of the season up to this point.
Dundee signed Rudden and all, by the way. That's a good signing, I think.
Yes.
You know, Griffiths knocked him back.
Do you remember Zach Rudden's interview when he was at Falkirk, when after he scored against Thistle, he was like, I'm just here to fucking score goals.
I think he was still an Angels player at that point.
Yeah, he was on loan now.
But he's a good player.
St Johnny got a late win with Mr. Is it Ali Crawford?
Aye.
Yeah. I know who Ali Crawford. Why did I ask that? I know fine well who Ali Crawford is.
Livingston had a chance right to death. Devlin should have scored, and it just went wide.
It's a massive result for St Johnstone, but
it's huge.
I just think they found a wee bit of something.
I think so.
I don't know. I don't.
I just think I look at their team. I know they've been shite this year. Right?
Do you ever get it? Deja vu.
Aye, fine.
Oh, just had it there, mate.
Is it gone yet?
I just think it'll be. I think it'll be Dundee and St Johnstone down there.
Yeah, so do I. But I think Dundee have just got that little bit of know-how, that little bit of experience. They've got a better manager. They've got a better squad. They've got a better player. I would just, I can't see.
Sorry, who we talking about here? Sorry,
St Johnstone.
You're still in your deja vu. So that was a big win for them.
Massive one.
We did that.
County 1-0 as well with Aberdeen.
Was that a late goal, if I'm right in thinking? No, it wasn't a late goal at all.
Jonathan Hayes.
That was what it was. Ross Callaghan scored. And I remember thinking when that came up, I remember there was a period last year where every single show was a Ross Callaghan appreciation show, because he almost kept Hamilton in the league single-handedly.
Good to see Johnny on the score sheet though.
Was it?
Was it?
It was a boil of tote for your man and Scott Brown with a left peg, and we Johnny Hayes, he scored the goal.
He was a man that's watched the highlights.
Yeah,
I've watched them as well. I just forgot because
Hayes looked mush.
You do realise that yesterday I was boozing since like 2 in the afternoon to 2 in the morning. So
Ross County have come on to a wee bit of game though. They're picking up some good results. They scored a lot of goals. Like they have some talented players. Like Charles Cook's top goal scorer in the league
as well.
He's quite a new boy, you know. I'm sure they've not just recently signed him, or he's just come into form. But then
I think they look decent at the moment.
Yeah, you've got Callaghan and then even big Jordan White up front. He's a lot different for them, but he's scoring goals. He scored 3 goals against Rangers this year.
When Yogi went into County last year, the first thing he did was play Jordan White up front, and he got slagged rotten for it, but it ended up working. A lot of things Yogi does that gets slagged rotten for, that end up working.
We're moving on to St Mirren, because my oh my, that is a sickener for them.
Apparently the fans were on the pitch fighting. Did anyone hear about this?
No.
After the end goal, like the fans spilled on. There was a wee bit of a set too. But Tierney got a late goal for Motherwell after a Gogic.
Big Gogic, it was a deadline day.
St Mirren.
No
idea.
That was a deadline day, wasn't it?
He was one I wanted to try and get.
And also news on
St
Mirren, Jamie McGrath, he's away.
Yes, a Wigan Athletic.
Wigan Athletic, that's a shame.
I'm so glad he finally moved, because I was fed up hearing about him.
I know,
it was Aberdeen 1 week, then it was Hibs, then it was Hearts, and then it was Hibs again, and then Wigan.
You would rather a good player like him stay in the blooming league though and not go to Wigan.
I would agree.
Although Jordan Jones on loan to St Mirren, he could be a really good signing for them.
It's crazy looking at McGrath and seeing and seeing the fact he's an international player. It's just weird knowing that St Mirren actually had a really talented international player on their books. Like, it just doesn't sound right. But the guy done well.
Eamon Brophy, he's an international footballer,
an international superstar.
He's obviously off to Wigan now. Hopefully does a job down there. I'd like to see him do well. I think ultimately the Irish national team as well would be crying out for some talent. So maybe if he goes down and does a job there, he can maybe help them out.
Right.
Wait and see.
Do we want to go into the next big story? Or do we do,
let's go to the big story. Let's break
we'll
it up a little bit
before
we talk about football, because this story has to be talked about.
So Raith Rovers are a bit of a shambles. When I say a bit of a shambles, I mean like picture the biggest shambles you can imagine and times it by 1,000.
Yep.
And that's probably getting quite close to where Raith Rovers are at. Yeah. I've never seen a football club fuck up more times in 3 days.
Yep.
Everything they have done has been a fuck up.
I'm going to put in like 3 stages here. What is worse, the signing, the first statement that came out?
You've got to go back a month because you've got to go back to the initial interest.
Yeah.
When that news broke at the start of the window that Raith Rovers were interested in bringing David Goodwillie to Starks Park, and there's been this weird narrative on social media that nobody talked about it when he was at Clyde.
I know. I seen
every show
it
comes up and he scores. I make a point of saying he's a fucking scumbag. He shouldn't play football.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the national outcry just wasn't there.
Yeah, but I mean, but can you really remember what it was like 3 years ago when he signed for Clyde? There would have been an outcry.
When he signed,
I can't remember.
Because of social media, I know it was there, but it was
level.
It was in its infancy, wasn't it?
Yeah, and because as I said to you in the car, it's been brewing for a month because we knew this was on the cards.
And I think it's been done for a month and all. Like, I think it's been done. I think it's been done for longer. They announced it on the day.
No, because Falkirk were definitely in for him. This has been confirmed by numerous
I don't know.
people.
I just think they've tried everything up to kind of do it under the radar. Do you know what I mean?
Were in for him too, and we'll come to that as well. So yeah, the initial interest came in, and Val McDermott, who is author, very talented woman, and did lots of sponsorship stuff for Rovers. One of the stands is named after her, massive Rovers fan, season ticket as well in her own right. And she, as sponsor said, is this really the kind of message we want to send out? Mm-hmm. That prompted lots of Raith Rovers fans to get in touch with the club and say, listen, come on the fuck guys, we cannot be doing this. Mm-hmm. 2 board members have resigned since then who were Raith Rovers fans. So Raith Rovers fans were just against it, dead against it from the start. And then it came as a little bit of a shock when he signed on deadline day because we knew the interest was there, but we didn't think it was going to get done. And then it got done, and then everyone's like, oh my fucking god. I mean, there's so many stages to the reaction. The first one, the most striking one, was there was loads of wee guy Raith Rovers fans who were like, oh yes man, he's going to score. Not from Glasgow, what am I trying to do? And he's going to score. He's going to score 20 goals. I can't do a Fifer accent. I should.
How can you know do a Fifer accent when you spend every weekend of your life up there basically?
Just like Ken all the time.
Ken, what I mean? Like, he's got to score loads of goals.
Loads of wee guys who thought it was great, and then you had the general people with a half a brain that realised this is a fucking
not even
shambles.
Half a brain, a quarter of a brain would do.
So you've got 2 stages. You've got the national outcry and you've got the Raith Rovers fans outcry. The one that kind of I thought connected with me the most was the Raith Rovers fans. They're obviously our local rivals. I said that real word. Really funny. They're our local rivals. We have it's not so much a hatred with Raith Rovers, it's just a local derby. But I immediately felt really fucking sorry for their fans because I just thought if Dunfermline had done that, I would have felt horrendous. Ill, because the worst thing is you've got to take action against your own club. And that must be fucking horrendous to have to go. Because like if that was me, I'd have to not go to the game on Saturday. And I couldn't imagine not going to the game. And like, it would just be fucking horrendous, especially at this level when you've got so many volunteers and people who go out their way to do so much to the club, and it's supposed to be a family community club. And then you've got to go and basically say, I can't support you for this. That must be fucking devastating.
See the first statement that Rafe did as well. I thought that was
they hired
disgusting.
They actually hired a PR team.
That was a sham. It was like
I don't even think they have a PR team that wrote that.
It pretty much came out and says like that he's been on loan here before, and he's played here before, so he's part of Raith Rovers. And bearing in mind at this point, the captain of the women's team and such, she'd resigned, like, and she'd played there 10 years. Fans were saying, I'm never be at another game and all this. They're also a part of the club, and they still came out and says that. And they almost came out and says, he scores goals, so that's why we're signing him. It's a footballing decision. And very quickly they've turned back on that.
So that was a car crash, that statement in itself.
And then amidst of that, you've had the TV team. They've walked away.
And by the way, I've done a bit of watching of these streams. I had to in times. Raith Rovers TV is fantastic. Their good, production is really good. The guys in commentary are fantastic.
So they've walked away. Left. Sponsorship's been pulled. You've got Val McDermott, of course, who's a massive part of that club, as you've already touched on. That's had a massive.
Other sponsors have pulled.
Have pulled, and
2 directors. And Bill Clark, who used to be chairman, resigned.
It's like literally watching now. Once again, I sympathise with all the supporters of Raith Rovers who are that are of course not the ones that want to defend it. I don't understand that at all. But the supporters who feel affected, there is some.
No, I'm saying anybody that wants to defend it.
I would hope that a lot of the younger ones, especially, might have seen the error of their ways.
It's literally watching your club fall apart in front of your eyes almost.
It must be fucking horrible.
And it's just a horrible
And I think
feeling.
at this level, it's probably why I've connected to that the most, because when you've got a smaller club, these things, you're really fucking connected. The fans representative of the board is also gone, who seemed, from what I can gather, a decent guy that really represented the fans. So, it's an absolute fucking shambles. Then they released the other statement and they doubled down on this fucking ridiculous decision they've made. The second statement, I can't remember what it was exactly, but it was... I can't even remember now, but they just doubled down.
It was horrible. It was a terrible statement.
Financially as well for Raith, it's catastrophic because he paid
50 grand for him.
50 grand from him. Now they're going to pay him
150 grand payoff. He was on a 3.5 year deal. About 40.
Do you know what I mean?
So,
So
and it's sickening as well, because as you said, the card they're
giving
giving
a
a rapist £150,000.
Yeah.
Because do you know what? It's so frustrating, and just everything about it has been really, you watch it and you hear the fans, and it just really is sickening. It really is, and I just don't understand how from the very start, from the very get-go, there was people that was working in that boardroom that thought, yeah, this is a great idea. This is even with the talks, as you said, for the months leading to it.
Because they've had warning this was
and they went, no, okay, that they've gave it the green light, and it really is sickening. And
John McGlynn's got to take a lot of the blame as well.
they've sat down and we said it.
Decided.
Aye.
John McGlynn,
Do you know what I mean?
been a fantastic manager of Raith Rovers. They've been probably a bit of a feel-good story for neutrals in terms of the championship. They played some great football. They get praised a lot in here for that. John McGlynn's identified him as being the man. They went and got him. John McGlynn and then shat it in the interview on Wednesday night and said it was up to the board.
Yeah.
You're not telling me the board are signing players.
And you know what? And it's like, I don't want. It's just the fact this happened this week of all weeks when so much has been going on.
The timing was horrific.
Yeah, and it's just, it really is. It baffles me. Can we touch on that rotten cunt, Graham Spears?
I was going to ask you that, so I've got his tweet here. I wanted to get your. So the tweet,
because I forgot exactly the word.
Right. So Graham Spears tweeted today. What he did in 2011 was heinous, but there is now a key issue facing the Scottish footballing community. And then in bullet points,
he has is how do we help
David Goodwillie, how to rehabilitate him, yes, how to protect him, how to prevent a kind of medieval witch hunt, and then the final part, we cannot create a pariah.
If your genuine reaction to a story about a rapist is how, and the first thing you think of is how can we help the rapist, you're a fucking arsehole.
And I think there was a few replies to it. Rehabilitation is of course really important, and trying to help and do things is important.
See, if people don't want to admit that they've done wrong and show some remorse for that, they deserve fuck all.
Yeah. And you look at the situation, you look at him, the people, we should be prioritising the people who have hit home the hardest about this, and that isn't fucking David Goodwillie.
Yeah, I feel a bit bad we've not even touched on this yet, but I mean, it's kind of football.
It's a horrible time. I could imagine it's a horrible time for the victim as well.
But this is
because
this
is just national news now. It's absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, and it feels, and it almost as well when you see it happen. Of course, there's a bit of, you see some reaction. It feels like they're glorifying in them, which is obviously as well.
Because even we've kind of fallen into the trap. Obviously, with a football show, we're going to talk about it from that point of view. But I mean, it's all been dragged up again and all the rest of it. And I mentioned it earlier on, you had all the wee guys that were celebrating his signing. I would like to think that a few of them have had like their dad tell them, listen, that's fucking ridiculous. And maybe they've seen, because when you're a wee guys do stupid things, right? And it was mostly them that were giving it the positive reaction. Right. And something you mentioned the car on the way through, the captain of the women's team obviously came out and said she wasn't playing anymore. Then the whole women's team have said basically we're cutting ties with Raith Rovers. Yeah. Now, the reaction has been such a groundswell of like, fuck you, use your arseholes. That's maybe felt, given people maybe the I don't know, made them feel like they can come out and say, well, this is fucking wrong.
Yeah, which is good because the outcry was there, and it's complex to kind of to put forward, and I might not say everything absolutely right here, but it was what we were talking about in the car, and like the fact that so many people did come out and absolutely go off their nut about this, lambasted club would have gave people the confidence to kind of speak up as well. Do you know what I mean? Because some people maybe know, you could imagine maybe feeling backed into a corner if not a lot of people were speaking up on it and you felt against it. And you thought, if I speak up, everybody's going to go against me. Yeah. I'm going to lose my job, or people are going, do you know what I mean? So the fact that so many people just jump on it and done the right thing has gave the other people I know that confidence to, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, you said it there before you started speaking, you might not say the right, but this thing about these conversations, you've kind of got to have these open conversations to kind of learn about certain things and how you approach these situations. The fact of the matter is he committed a fucking horrendous act.
Heinous.
And shown little remorse or no remorse or apology since. And And a club like that want to, any football club shouldn't be signing them, but a club especially that brand themselves as a family community club should never ever be doing that. And they fucked it, and there is there's a long way back for them. I just can't see this ending in any other way than your man selling the club. They've now got no fan representation on the board because the guy's quit, and I can understand why he's done that. And it's just an absolute mess. And as much as there are local rivals, and I love scudding them and fucking winding them up, it's shit. It is absolutely shit. And I really feel for them because I would hate that.
It's out with the fans' control, and you know, it's just it's saddening for them.
Aye, you feel like guys like him that are still allowed to like have a career, they're almost being glorified in a sense and celebrated when they should be like. People should be able to look up to them. They should be like role models. But he's still getting paid this money to have this career and such. Like, I think you need to just throw the book at these cunts. Honestly,
yeah.
Like we've seen it with like Mason Greenwood as well. That's another one.
Yeah, I mean,
Mendy at Man City. All these fuckers getting paid too much money and have got this mad fucking, I don't know. They think they're above the law and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
throw the book at them, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fucking
I think
sink them,
the
man.
thing about those two, they're playing at such a higher level, but they'll be done.
But that smelly bastard was on like 20 grand a weekend on the championship, was he not?
Who?
Do you know what I mean? Him?
Yeah, fuck those. It's just it's an absolute shambles. There've been some dreadful takes and some good takes. Sturgeon piping up didn't really help matters for me.
No.
Saying the SPFL should. Did you see this? She said the SPFL should have taken it. She said it would have been appropriate for the SPFL to take action. No, it would have been grossly inappropriate for them to take action, considering they took no action when he was applied. Now I understand what she's saying, but that's wrong. How could they take action against Raith Rovers if they did nothing against Clyde? I get she's right in terms of it's a stupid fucking thing. They should never done it and all that. I get that, but there was a lot of jumping on bandwagons and stuff, and I don't think that really helps, if I'm honest. As you said there, you have these conversations, you're not going to get everything right, and you're not going to say the right things all the time because they're complex issues and they take a lot of understanding. But fundamentally, it was a fucking shocking decision from that club, and there has been so much damage done to so many different people, and they have got a long, long way back.
And they were generally going in a good
direction. They were going in a great
well.
direction. They made loads of progress with Rovers recently, and as much as it's pained me to see it, they've been doing very well on the park as well. But all that is kind of fucked. John McGlynn's contract's up in the summer. I can't see him staying beyond that now. And it's just an absolute shambles. This story's going to ramble on. I'm sure we'll cover it again. But let's move on to the football now, because I don't want to talk about this sort of shit all night, because it depresses you. So let's talk about stuff that cheers me up. And there's no topic in the world that cheers me up like the Scottish Championship, certainly when we are 3 undefeated. I'm a happy boy.
Aye, for once, sir.
I know, it doesn't happen very often.
I mean, when was the last time you done a podcast? What was the result?
Christ, probably after the M&S game.
Christ. Last time we did a podcast, we were fucking steaming.
We were.
I know.
It's crazy to think about. Yeah, you're doing well.
We are doing well. We had a good. Well, we're 3 unbeaten. The Morton game, we got beat 5-0 a few weeks ago. It wasn't even a month ago now. 4 weeks ago. It was less than 4 weeks ago. Not even a month.
See, going down to that game, what happened to you? Did you know, like, get a train cancel or something?
Christ.
See, big Grant Grafter, I ended up talking to him, mate, and I predicted.
I never saw it.
Aye, it was he told us it was his first away game in a while, and he was just sending his madweight videos, getting absolute half nut. And I was wondering if you ended up in the same party bus as him.
No, I wasn't in the party bus for him. I was on. Well, I got the train down to Dumfries. Obviously, it was that mad storm at the weekend, and I had my mate Ryan with me from home. He's not a Dunfermline fan, but he came for the day out anyway. Because I've been dragging a few mates from home at Dunfermline games, and they're all loving the crack, so they keep coming back.
Still would take me.
No, you're not fucking good.
He'll turn up in his fucking suit and his scarf and all that.
I know, with the fucking brogues on.
Did I tell you
The brown brogues.
Do you want a story?
I'm telling my story.
Wait, hold on, right? Wait, hospitality, right?
That's sure.
It wouldn't make sense.
That is main character syndrome.
It is, but anyway, we were at hospitality, and I got fucking the checkered trousers back on, brown brogues.
That's what you do in hospitality?
No, I went in, everybody was wearing jeans and trackies and that, man. It's not like, it wasn't like proper hospitality. It's like the Kennedale Lounge, like just a wee bar and stuff.
Cheapskate hospitality.
Wasn't it a free bar and that?
Listen, do you know how much that costs?
Don't worry.
Fucking hell, it was my dad's birthday, fuck's sake. It wasn't his fucking...
Few £100, I'd imagine.
It's per person for that one, it's like 250 quid.
I was going to say
it's only 85 for the one I got.
Christ.
Anyway.
You could have got G4 to fucking hook you up.
So I walked in thinking that everybody was going to be like smartly dressed, and no, I felt like a right dick.
Oh well.
Again, did you wear a scarf?
But the first time ever,
in your life
you've walked into a room and classed the place up. That kind of happened very often. So my day on Saturday, I'll let you think about that comment for a while. So there's a bit mad storm on Saturday. Loads of games were getting called off left, right and centre. We woke up, we were a bit rough, and I was like, listen, I'm going down anyway. If you don't want to come, it's fine. And he was like, no, I'll come with you. And I was like, well, we're heading down and the game might get called off on the way down. I was like, but I'm going for it anyway because I'm going to go for it. So we were left, we were in the Sainsbury's.
What a jaunt and all, by the way.
We were in Sainsbury's beside Central, like waiting for them to pull the shutters up for the booze at 10 in the morning. Got to carry it, got on train, got down, and we got 2 stops from Dumfries, and there was a tree in the line, and we're sitting there for about half an hour. I'm thinking, this train's not going to get fucking cancelled. So I was like, right, we'll get off in, where the fuck, New Cumnock was where we were.
Cumnock, I know.
Where the fuck's that?
Ayrshire, innit?
No, Ayrshire.
Cumnock's Ayrshire, innit?
I think
Aye,
so.
so we
Anyway.
got off there and we're like, right, we were 2 stops from Dumfries. It was like, it may be going to take us half an hour and we'll get there still for 12:30, plenty of booze. Got on the service bus. It went 40 mile in about 2 hours. It was fucking horrendous. It went all roads, right? But the funniest thing was, we still had beers and that. There was a group of young guys and gals on the fucking train that were going to Carlisle, but they had to get this bus as well to get to Dumfries, and so they were steaming up the back. So it was funny as fuck the whole way down. Like, this old dear got on and she went and sat at the back with them, and she started like drinking with them and all this. She must have been in her 70s, and she was absolutely loving it, taking photos of them and all this. Yeah. And then there was this old boy sitting in front of him. They hand him a bottle of Sambuca and he starts tanning it and all. It was honestly,
You go to the games with a bottle of Sambuca?
No, it wasn't me. This was fucking just so funny. So we ended up, it wasn't too bad. We got into Dumfries for like 1:30, went to the boozer, pissed up, fucking good away support down, went to the game, 2-0 up the road.
The support was unreal.
It was fantastic.
Aye.
We honestly did not stop singing the whole way through. It was amazing. And then we like, right, we're leaving Dumfries and we're thinking, how are we going to get home? Because the trains are cancelled. I was like, okay, the last bus back to Glasgow is at like 20 to 6 or something, or half 6, I can't remember what it was. Mm-hmm. So we're standing waiting for this bus, and I didn't know which side of the road to be on, because I'm thinking, I don't fucking know which way it's going. We're standing on the wrong side of the road.
Oh no.
And the bus has gone past us. I'm thinking, that's the last bus back to Glasgow, and their trains are off. We are fucked. So then I was like, right, what are we going to do? But one of the supporters buses that was down there, their bus had broke down, so they were stuck in Dumfries till about 8:30. I was like, right, we'll find them and go to their pub and we'll sort something. Man. So I got a message, the boy, I'm on 1%, phone dies.
Right, that sounds like the worst deal.
We are in a lot of trouble here.
What is wrong with your phone? Why is your phone always at a charge?
I'm always in Twitter. So I'm like,
I know, but what?
Let me finish my story. I was like, we're struggling here. I was like, right, we'll go back to the first pub we were at, right? We'll just go there and see if they've got a phone charger and we can try and sort something. We're probably going to have to stay the night somewhere, right? So we go there and the woman's like, trains are back on. I was like, oh, no fucking way. She's like, last one's in like 15 minutes though. And I was like, oh mate, the train's a good half-hour walk. She's like, listen, I'll phone a taxi for you, right? The taxi pulls up and I was like, we're not making this. Get there within a minute of the train leaving, get on. And at this point, me and mate Ryan, we had this thing going on where like, we cannot be stopped. Everything's going our way today. We think we're fucked and we keep going. We cannot be stopped. Get on the train, phone charge, coupons up too.
How much do you win?
Like, I was only like 40 quid, but I was like, the coupons up. I was like, and he got a coupon up as well. I was like, everything is going perfectly. We got home, a couple of them film fans in train home as well, so we had a good piss up on the way home, and it was just a perfect day out.
Sounds fun.
It was a great day out, and the fact we won 2-0 was good.
What's this bad thing about Winston or something you said in the way here?
Oh, this gets even better. So one of a guy we know from home, right? He was in.
Welcome to the David Buick talk show.
He's a taxi driver, right? And he's at home, but he was down in Glasgow because his parents stayed down here, and he was going to a gig. He was going to see the Stranglers in the O2 south side, right? And he went to school with Winston from Stilgame, and I think they're in similar friend groups. I don't think they're pals, but like they know people. And he was at this gig, and Winston's there, so we phoned him because it was like he's got his van, and if he's not at a drink, he might come and pick us up. We pay him, and he was like, "I've been drinking, boys, can't come and get you. I'll message you back if someone else can come and get you." So I'm like, right, okay, cool. And then when I finally get phone charge, he was like, "Hope you've got sorted." Couldn't come and get you, right? And it just came through, sent a video, clicked in the video, it's Winston from Stilgame. He's like, "You're a fanny missing that bus." I'll put the video on the Twitter. It was fucking amazing.
Tremendous.
It was just a 4-second clip. "You're a fanny missing that bus." I was like, that's absolutely amazing.
So who's up next for Dunfermline then?
They're away on Saturday, another away day, baby.
Right, where are you going?
You were talking about that with Adam.
Where are you going?
Yeah.
So it is fuck.
So
that'd be a good one.
we can go, we're now 4 points off the bottom.
I know, I checked the table news where I'd be fucking...
And I think we can go ahead of there if we beat them.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And if Raith Rovers have a capitulation of all capitulations, we're finishing... No, I'm joking. But no, it's...
You're going up.
We're doing well. We're doing really well. Yogi's finally He's got the players in, first and foremost. He's got the signings in, and all of a sudden we look a better team. We signed Joe Chalmers from Ayr. Looks a really good acquisition. Keeps the ball, which is what I love to see from midfielder. He's playing Dorrans. He's playing Dorrans higher up. And Dorrans looks brilliant. I'm delighted to say that because I said to someone this, I was like, that's the Graham Dorrans I thought we signed in the summer.
Just let Dorrans do what he wants.
That's exactly it, and he looks a class above.
Nice shit.
Last funny story, and I'm going to shut up and let you talk for a bit. We just signed a new Polish goalie, right? Jacob Stolarczyk. That's how you pronounce it. He's Leicester's under 23 goalie. He's a Polish 21 international.
He's a
Leicester are really backing him to be their next goalie.
Aye.
Like, so we've got him on loan.
Aye,
But we think we might get him on loan next season as well. And the reason we've got him is because Yogi had Kasper Schmeichel at Falkirk when he was a kid. So I think that's how we've got him.
Look at Yogi, huh?
Yogi's
Pulling all the
nice,
strings, a big
so
boy.
He's done. So we got this guy in, right, and he's doing the first interview, right, and he's living in a flat with Dan Pybus, right, who's also come into the game recently, right. So the goalie's talking, and he's like, "Oh, the first player I met," and he calls him Dan Pubes. It's like, the first player I met was Dan Pubes. It's just amazing.
That's good.
That was my last story for today. But that was just
Big Dan Pubes, huh?
Big Dan
I've
Pubes.
talked so much, I've gone dizzy.
You've been talking for a good 10, 15 minutes. That was good,
Just a
I
cameo
enjoyed
for me
that.
today.
I enjoyed
You were
that.
the one like you need to do all the talking.
Mate, I'm recovering. I'm
let's go
shattered,
through some
honestly.
Mate, honestly, man, I drank enough to
Did you
kill a
have
baby
you have a
horse.
long one yesterday as well?
Not a long one, just a lot
just
in
a
a
lot
short
in a
window.
short window.
Do you know what I mean?
Incidentally, Raith and Queen of South putting out an absolute stormer on Tuesday night. Shea Gordon, don't know if you haven't seen it yet, go and check out Shea
3-0,
Gordon's
wasn't it?
goal. Shea Gordon's winner was a stonker of a
I
strike.
tell you, it's just been a wonderful, wonderful week in terms of just banter.
Yeah, it has been great. Thistle beat Ayr 1-0 on Tuesday night. The Thurhill pitch is a fucking joke.
They won, huh?
So bad. This weekend, well, tomorrow night, or tonight as it is now, Arbroath Kelly on the
good game.
telly at Gayfield. Now,
Dick Campbell.
I think if Kelly win that, they'll win the league.
Aye,
I would
I'd
say.
agree.
They're so close still and they've got a game in hand. Do you know what I mean?
I think just the
Yeah.
fact that Derek McInnes is now at Kelly and the signings they've made.
And if you
is-
win at
is-
Gayfield anyway.
Yeah, I think that's it. If they go top.
I mean, Lafferty scored the winner last weekend. You can already see what he's going to bring.
Are they top right now?
Arbroath, I think, maybe 1 or 2 points top.
A point ahead.
A
But
point.
there's a tiny wee gap now because everyone else
I think everybody's obviously rooting for Arbroath to do
Yeah,
it.
of course.
but-
They're going
Got
to
to
finish the
be.
playoffs, so that's a fairy tale in itself. Airdom film we've covered. Raith Rovers against Hamilton. I don't know what's going to happen with Rovers on the pitch now because this is bound to have an effect on them. You would have thought in terms of the players.
Yeah.
Hamilton are just a bit dog shit, aren't they? Really. Inverness against Morton. Dougie Emery's Morton are flying.
They are flying. What the fucking tell you? He's the goat. He's the
this
goat.
is everything you've been waiting
Mate,
for.
I knew
Just-
it. I've been telling
just
people
for
this
years.
for years, man. This guy is a fucking
I'm ready
hidden
for you,
gem.
just a wind up.
I know.
But
It's real.
I've seen it, mate.
So just go through
I've
the
always
games.
knew.
I'm gonna go Kelly at Arbroath. Kelly at win for me. Just Lafferty will score.
I think that's got to be 0-0.
Do you remember when Hearts went up there early on in the season and they just won 1-0?
Aye.
I've got that feeling about it.
I
Arbroath
don't
will play
know.
well, but they'll get beat.
I think 0-0. I'm going to go a draw.
I'm going to go for a. Do you know what? I don't
'Cause
think Kelly.
Kelly-
I think Kelly will
Ball's
win.
out.
I think Kelly will win the league. I think, but
Not just yet. The
I don't
type.
think they're going to go top just yet. I think Arbroath's going to win.
Okay. Airdom Fairman.
I think that'll be Dunfermline. I'll go
I'll
use.
go Dunfermline.
I'll back you, but I'll back
Confident.
use.
We just look so much better.
I've got to be like a part-time Air fan now. That's my.
I've got a really
you know?
soft spot. I've got a real soft spot for it.
You always have.
Yeah.
I need to go down to Air every fucking week nowadays.
Love going down there, man. You don't like it because you got to drive, but I just love getting the train to
I don't
Ayr,
go
man.
for the football.
Somerset's such a great ground.
I'll go for Dunfermline as well.
Nice. Raith Rovers Hamilton. I'm going to go with a draw just because I don't know what I'm getting with Raith.
I think Raith Rovers.
Hamilton 99-0.
See, I felt really bad because I want Rovers to win on Tuesday night because it helped us in terms of the relegation.
Raith
Yeah, I was
Rovers.
the winning guy at
The
the-
only person in Scotland.
I'll be predicting them to lose every game from now to the end of the season.
Yeah, the Inverness against Morton. Inverness fans are not happy. but
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Morton, I just Inverness have got a habit against losing to shit teams at home.
Draw.
I'm going to go draw.
1-0.
I'm going to go Morton. And Thistle Queen in the South. This is what we say about that pitch
My
being
boys.
so bad.
Mate.
It's kind of it evens it out because you'd expect Thistle to play better football, but because that pitch is so rotten, it's
Shite.
going to be an equaliser.
I think
Queens are in a bit of
Thistle.
trouble, but I'm going to go Thistle.
I think
I'm gonna go
Thistle.
Thistle.
I need to ask you a question
Thistle,
though.
my
Did
boys.
they get a fee for Rudden or?
No, because they would have done, yeah, because it was a pre-contract and then they signed him in January, so they just got a minimal fee.
Sorry.
Let's go
I don't know if
on.
I call it Partick, but pennies to the Celtic.
Let's go on to. Did you see Falkirk got beat last weekend as well? That was another thing that came
Aye.
up because Falkirk got beat as well. Just
Kenny.
tremendous. Yes, absolutely. Right, what have we got? Falkirk Queen's Park at the Falkirk Stadium.
Will be goals, I think.
Ooh, goals and red cards.
Yep, I think Falkirk will win that.
I think Queen's Park will win that. Falkirk have really not picked up since Martin Rennie.
There was a wee turnaround. They won 6-0 one game in that, and then they went to Airdrie, and I thought I had Falkirk in my cooting, but I think it ended up finished 2-1.
Yeah.
They score goals now, like, so.
Yeah, but it's still shite.
They're so shite.
Yeah, I'm going Queen's Park.
Queen's Park.
Queen's Park fell off a wee bit
They
as
have
well,
done,
though.
but
So
just Falkirk are jobbies. East Fife Clyde.
East Fife.
Draw.
I think Clyde.
Montrose
Clyde are climbing right up that table. I think Clyde.
Montrose, Dumbarton.
Montrose.
I'm going to go Montrose as well, yeah.
Dumbarton, why not? I love Montrose, but let's go Dumbarton. Cove against Airdrie could be tasty too.
I think. Listen, I'm going to go.
Airdrie
I think
against
Cove.
the Nazis.
I think
Top of the
Cove.
table
Are,
clash.
Sorry.
I think they're due
Sorry
a
about it.
defeat, mate. So I'm going to go Airdrie because Cove have just been winning like fucking end. So I'm going to go Airdrie.
Fans want to be, don't they? So you can
What is
kinda
it?
get away with
Yeah,
saying
that's what I'm saying. That's one of the Nazis.
right, Cove 7 clear. If they win that, it's over.
I know. So I think Airdrie.
I think Airdrie.
Dylan Easton.
To
Dylan
go, Airdrie to go up to Cove and win.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
You heard them
Dylan
the
Easton, I
first.
think, scored at the weekend. I could be wrong.
I think you did, aye.
Peterhead against Alloa. Alloa are
Oh, they're
a
dog
bit
shit.
jobbies, aren't they?
I think I'll be
Jobbies has
1-0.
become my new word this year, and I don't really like it.
A draw.
What do we think about...
Talking about jobbies, right, very off topic. Have any seen that 4-4 Tunes video for the derby?
Is it pish, is
It
it?
is just
English.
unbelievably
Very English.
unfunny.
Very
And
English.
I
It's
can't
like a
believe-
yeah, two-day chat.
Can
with the darts,
I
isn't it?
can I believe that I was like 13, 14 and actually enjoyed watching 4-4 Tunes? Like, my brain.
That's what it's
I need staff for effort. You know what I mean?
Yeah, their graphic design is their passion.
Yes.
I'm going to go Peterhead. Why not? Fuck it. Who cares? I don't care. Let's move on. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I've done a lot.
I'm shattered. I know. Let's
Kelty Hearts to win in League 2.
Are we getting the questions or what?
Yeah, you get the questions up.
I'll get questions.
You were in
up.
charge of questions this week. Kelly Hearts to win in League 2, just in general. They're going to win absolutely everything. Who have they got this weekend? They have got Elgin at home. Yeah, Kelly. I'm going Kelly.
Yeah.
And then Stenny again, because they got my coupon up last weekend.
Oh, how David just goes through these leagues.
For Edinburgh. Questions?
Questions, aye.
Questions, boys. Okay, no bother.
I'm sorry, League 2.
So, we usually for the question segment on the Celtic Defender, I always let Ryan McGinley take charge of it, which is always a good laugh, because he sits there and he like scrolls, and I'm like, come on, son, pick any question now, any question.
Right, Mark Wilson has a smelly willy and tiny balls. Asks, what are the main issues at Dunfermline? I know they've won the last couple of games. What does David think? It has to run deeper than the manager. Is he after hang with here?
Yeah,
They've gone through so many managers. If they get relegated, that will be a concern if they come back up on
Have
that.
we gone through so many
I
managers?
don't think so. That's what I was thinking.
Crawford was there for a good while.
He was there
Crawford
for a
2
while.
years. AJ was there for 3 years.
Aye.
No, they just still
Who
reached the end
fuck's
of the
AJ?
time. Alan Johnson.
Oh, aye.
No, I don't think... Dunfermline are in a fantastic place just now. We've got a new training ground, we've got a new youth academy, we've got new owners, we've got a new chief exec starting next week. We've got a good manager in, the results have picked up, the fans are happy again. We're in a really good place just now.
Mark asks, why do you think Rangers struggled so much to create any real chances during the game against Celtic?
Couldn't get out.
And Celtic were miles ahead. I think Celtic's press was really good, and there was nobody in the middle of the park, as I've already touched on, for us to kind of get going
Lack
and
of
get up the
composure,
park.
I think, when they got the ball.
Aye, and also a lack of ideas. It was,
Even
it was
like
poor,
when-
but then it was a good press as well
Even
for Celtic.
like when Kent or Diallo did get the ball, they looked a bit rushed with it. They didn't really take the time and pick the openings.
Aye.
A lot of time you see Kent, he'll get it and he'll keep it and he'll kind of wander
It's,
inside. He seemed to want to go straight away and try and
Aye,
drive.
Kent was dog poo last night.
Yeah,
but I
well,
thought
yeah.
Ahmad, you could still see his wee touches and that. I think he
I
was a
think
good player.
for me it's probably a combination of the two things that we've spoke about. Obviously Celtic's press, how good they were, and Rangers struggled to compete against that, but I think the second one was probably just, as I've already said, Rangers looked like a team under a significant pressure last night, and I'd
Well,
say
they
it's a
were.
combination of two.
They were.
Yeah, well, they fell to the pressure, you know.
Yeah. Juranovic also was brilliant, so that probably didn't help Kent. It definitely didn't.
Yorkie, man, what a player.
He was very, 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 very good.
Yes.
I love
Lewis Walker says, what's your thinking for the rest of the season after that result last night?
just a brilliant title race, and I can't wait to see it unfold.
Yep.
Helicopter Sunday in the cards.
Fuck that.
I
man.
wouldn't
Think of
mind
the-
that.
Think of the content, man. We could do a mini documentary on the helicopters.
I know, it kills me.
On the helicopters.
On the helicopters.
On the helicopters itself. This was a T15 engine in here. Some
We could be
speed
the
this
Then
next-
we could find the guy that drove the helicopter on helicopter.
Oh,
Sunday back
yeah,
in the
that would
day.
be class. Imagine it.
so
That's
good.
a good
Get
idea.
that
That would
Yeah.
actually be some story, man.
Aye.
And
That
like,
would be so
interview
cool.
maybe like whoever was
Scott
in the
McDonald?
SFA or getting Skippy would be good for
Get
that.
me Skippy, I get him in.
Aye, that would be good. Yeah, that would be
That's,
a
that
great
would
wee
be really
documentary.
good. That's really smart. Like that.
Yeah.
Helicopter Sunday, the movie.
They just need to kick on. I think Rangers need to get back to winning ways, and
See,
That's it.
you know what's making me worry for you is that you don't have any. You're saying they need to kick on, which is obvious. You're not telling me what they need to do that.
what they need to do. I mean, they need to get fucking
They've gotta
Morelos
change
back.
something.
He sat in the stands in Colombia for no
That's
fucking
a
reason.
joke,
That was a
innit?
joke. Seriously, man.
But why is he not?
Thank you, Mr.
Why has he not put the foot down?
Aye.
Why has he not put the foot down himself and just said, "I'm going home"?
I don't know, because
I
the
mean-
World Cup's coming up. He maybe wants to make an impression.
I mean, no, they would
but
have done it in last night anyway, but I mean,
They don't even score goals, mate.
He would have made a difference.
thank
last
you
night
to
a little
Mr.
Of course he
Ronaldo Rueda.
that's
Thank you.
Aye, he's a prick. Kirsten says, would you say that is Greg Taylor's best game ever last night?
Yeah, just very quickly, I don't know if you've seen this, just because it's the first thing that comes up, you type this guy's name in, it says, Colombia boss Reinaldo Rueda has doubled down on his decision to snub Morelos, insisting he has, quotation, no regrets over his decisions.
He's a prick.
Greg Taylor, that is, yeah,
Well,
but...
he probably had a better game for Kelly at one point.
well,
We forget how good Kelly
in a
was when he was
Celtic
there.
shirt. In a Celtic shirt, that's his best game yet for this club. And we used that. You used that phrase a minute ago about kicking on. Greg Taylor's got to kick on now. This is a massive, and we've said this on the Celtic Fund many, many times. This 6 months is the biggest 6 months of Celtic his Celtic career because
I don't think he gets any better than that.
Ange Postecoglou has. Oh, we already know Postecoglou's a fan of Greg Taylor, right? But he has placed an immense amount of faith in him by not signing a left back in that window.
also-
Maybe it was out of his control because we wanted to maybe go and get Buchanan from Derby, but a left back hasn't come in. If he performs like that for the next 6 months, he can show that he's a first team
And
player.
also,
But
as
think we
I
can-
told you 3 months ago when you said he was shite, you
Aye.
look at what he did with
Listen.
Ralston.
Listen. I'm not saying that Greg Taylor's.
I did predict this happening. I
never said that Greg Taylor. He just had a great
Oh,
game last night.
you didn't say what?
And I hope he continues
You
on.
didn't say he was
Dixie
shit.
thing.
You were
No,
going off his
no, I
nut
didn't
because
say
you got a
he
new
was great.
contract, wasn't it?
Aye,
was raging.
I wasn't raging. I was just
But you know what the
confused.
worst thing is in terms of Celtic new contracts is Scott Bain getting
My
the
thing
deal.
back then was give him a chance under Ange
Because look what
Postecoglou.
happened to Ralston.
Exactly.
Just final wee thing on Taylor. I think if we had a disaster and Tierney and Robertson got injured, if he was to step in and perform like that, I wouldn't be as devastated as. Do you know what I mean? Like if he could step up and perform like that, you'd be think, oh, he might do a
I
job.
think he's a good character, I know, isn't he? You see him in
Seems like
interviews
a
and that. He
laughable guy,
seems
yeah.
he seems a
I
laugh.
love the
And,
way he's moustache.
in terms of a backup, he will eventually be Celtic's backup left back.
Yeah, I
and
think
he'll
yeah.
be a good backup.
But this is a big 6 months for him to try and stake his claim.
I just don't think he's good enough. That's
To be backup.
such a controversial what I'm saying. I just
You're like
no, I
championing
don't
him,
think
but
he's
now
good
you're
enough
saying
to
he's
be. Like, you
starter.
look at Juranovic coming in
Aye.
over Ralston.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
such a
different level of
lopsided,
player,
it's
isn't
a
it?
lopsided
Yeah.
kind of fullback.
Connor Carr says, do you think coming from a completely different environment has helped the Japanese players at Celtic settle in without having like the melting pot of pressure put upon them?
I can't believe how
In the
quickly
media
they have
and all
settled in. Every single
Yeah.
I mean, Ideguchi probably
I mean,
not
what
as
part?
much.
They know well into their
Yeah,
season,
yeah,
but or something like that. So they'll be
Their
like,
season was finished in December.
So for Kyogo, it was good.
For
He was
Kyogo, it
mid-season.
was mid-season.
Aye.
Their season finished in December. But I still can't believe that they've came in and they've acclimatised the way they have. Maida scoring on his debut. Ideguchi is the one to at least talk about, I think. But Kyogo, he's done what he's done. And obviously Hatate as well has been absolutely
But
tremendous.
you've gone from a Celtic manager who is a fucking idiot and signed players based on the fact that they're Irish, big and tall, and that might
Yeah,
stop
well,
them conceding goals.
that's the
To
other
a guy,
difference.
a manager who has a clear style of play, he's got a system, he's got formations, he knows what he wants exactly, who's gone and handpicked these guys because they'll fit his system, and lo and behold, they do
He's
fit
just
the
a
system. So it's just a complete different quality of manager.
Also, just
Celtic
talking about manager before we go to the next question, it's something that we'll probably talk more about on else. But I mean, they need to get they need to give Ange the new contract.
I'm not convinced, because I don't think he's the type of guy that's gonna. I don't see him leaving Celtic.
I'll give him the big
That's
contract.
ridiculous to say because
Money
Rodgers did it.
talks.
Give him a
But-
give him a wage rise, and put this the stamp of approval / the faith in him, and give him a 5-year deal. Do it.
Yeah, but maybe you're right, but I just don't think it's
Absolutely.
as big an issue as
No, I
it
don't
could
think
be.
it's one that.
Ange Postecoglou and Brendan
desperate.
Rodgers are completely different characters.
I don't think it needs desperately addressed. We're in a good place right now at Celtic, but I would love to see them just slap a 5-year contract down.
Yeah, I just think 5-year contracts in general at this level of football are a bit bizarre because you never know what's going to happen. But again, it protects them if someone wants to come and get him, I suppose.
Declan asks, with the next Edinburgh derby being in April, can you see Hibs closing the gap in Hearts at all this season? No.
Not really.
Nobody
Why
can-
does
Might
Sean,
get a bit closer, but like...
why does Sean Maloney always
I was
look like
gonna
he's
say,
absolutely
nobody can
rattling?
Convince
all
me
the
he
time?
isn't like.
See his
Philip.
post matches. It's like he's like
His eyes,
big googly eyes.
but
and
it's pure. Like, the blinking is like pure.
On the Kokoda Mall.
Yeah, I would say
You
so.
know.
I love Sean Maloney. Though. I keep
I
saying
think
this to
he's
people. I just love him.
You can tell straight away he's changed their style. They're a lot more possession based and such, but
The problem he's going to have is that being a
is he
fantastic
creating the chances,
coach
innit?
doesn't mean you're going to be a good manager.
they don't create enough chances
the
for
old
me.
Ian
I
Cathro.
think the problem is he might have is just I don't know if he's going to quite get the quality of player that he needs at Hibs. I think that Hibs team right now don't.
I know, but look at Ange
lacking
Postecoglou.
quality.
Look at Ange Postecoglou, for example.
Yeah,
He-
but Ange's
he's
made a
man-
lot of really good signings.
Yeah.
Maloney needs to go out and do that. I mean, the team that.
Oh, they're going to back him.
Listen,
every
there's
time.
only two players in that Celtic team from last season, really, and that's McGregor and Taylor. In terms of Hibs, I think he needs to go out and make signings. He needs to try and find
Needs to get
quality
rid of a lot
players.
of people.
Hibs, for me, Hibs, at the start of the season, I said it's just the way this season's gone. It's a very poor team. I think it's
It's a very average team.
I think it's a very
And
severe lack of
I
quality.
mentioned about
in there.
Rangers being stale. Fuck me, how stale are Hibs? You still get Hanlon, Stevenson, McGregor.
Yeah, it's piss poor.
I mean, even like Nisbet needs to leave Hibs because
Aye.
he doesn't want to
He's
be
not
there
got back to
anymore.
the level, has he?
And yeah, he's miles off it. I'm not having it that he's a bad footballer. He's just miles off it just now.
Yeah.
He's still. This is the most annoying thing about Nizzy, right? You watch him and he picks up so many good positions, and he always gets the ball, but he's just doing fuck all with it just now.
He's just not scoring goals. You know?
Frustrated, but they'll back Maloney, and I want him to do well because I just love him a bit.
Ian McIntosh says, who does Ramsay come into the Rangers team for? For me, my midfield, I'm having Ryan Jack,
You're
Aaron-
leaving out a big player here,
Aaron Ramsay, and
Kamara.
Joe Rebo. I'm leaving Kamara out.
I'm playing Joe Rebo.
How
one
the
higher.
turns table.
I'm
It doesn't,
playing-
it doesn't mean he's a bad player,
I'm
right?
playing, I'm playing a Rebo one higher. Kamara's brilliant. You can't not play Kamara.
He's very good, but no, this style, the only place Kamara can play in this style is the guy in the six. That's the only place he can play.
Can he not play as
It
one
is.
of the?
We've not even done a podcast since.
Can he not? Can you not have Jack there and Kamara here?
But you couldn't have Jack. But Gio likes to have two midfielders that are more attacking, as seen with Arfield and
one thing
Aribo.
can we address?
Do you know what I mean?
This not why are folks saying this is the biggest signing since Gaza? What utter pish!
I mean, it was a wee bit far fetched,
I
that, but
know,
it's
it's
absolutely huge
Absolutely
considering
nonsense.
his
I mean,
profile.
obviously, no, it's obviously
where
a
he's
good
at in
signing,
his
but
career
it's like
and all
we're
that
just
sort of
ignoring that Roy Keane actually.
Well, Roy Keane was
in this league.
Roy Keane, obviously. Do you know what I mean?
mean-
But where he was at in his career was totally different than where Aaron Ramsey's at.
Well,
I think that it's similar
Aye.
points. to
injury
Keane, to
prone,
be honest.
a bit of a standstill.
How's he injury prone? No, he's played 30 games the last so many years apart from this year.
30 games over the last so many years.
Aye, like over the last 5, 6, 7 years or whatever,
Well,
he's played
okay, but
30 games in a year.
He's at a
That's
point in
a
his
good
career where
amount
he
of
doesn't
games.
really know where he's going though.
I know.
He's
It's,
a bit
I think he does. He knows he's got to fucking Rangers.
Because if
mate.
Aaron Ramsey knew where he was going, he wouldn't.
the only
fucking
difference
be at
between
Rangers.
Keane and Ramsey is their age.
He had
Because
offers the
Aaron
table
Ramsey,
for the Prem.
if Aaron Ramsey is in top form and it's fine, he's not playing at Rangers.
Of course he's not. No, I know that. I know that. But I like the fact that he's chosen to come to Rangers when he had other offers on the
fair
table.
play.
Yeah, I get it.
It's good. It's great for the league. It was a huge coup for Rangers as well. And
We've just got to see how he gets on. He needs to get a run of games.
It's one of those ones that is really you don't know what you're getting. It's going to be.
I just
judge him off what
think
you
it's
see.
going to be hard for him not to be anticlimactic because the expectation is so high and it will take a little
just-
bit of time for him to
At
ease
first,
in.
it just reeked of absolute James McCarthy to me.
No,
It's totally
a much
different.
better
Ah, you
Dave
know, but in
McCarthy.
terms of like, as
They're
saying,
not on the same
no,
level.
I'm not saying it's like the same quality of player. What I'm saying is like both.
and he's not been a bad player for
former
you
Premier
either.
League central midfielders, both
No,
injury
because
prone.
McCarthy gets signed because he's an Irish Celtic fan and Desmond loves the shite.
No, that's aye, but I mean in terms of like coming injury prone as fuck.
But McCarthy.
I think that the injury prone thing is getting blown at the water. I really do. I think.
Right,
when you're
let's
picking
move
up
on because we're
consecutive
forgetting that
injuries.
we're like 20 minutes over this.
Aye, I know.
It's
How
about an hour and a
right.
half.
Is that
or
us?
so.
Aye.
Good.
Is that us? We didn't do a quiz or fuck all.
The last question the boy asked, would you like a piece or a roll?
This is literally.
Nay cheese.
He says he asked it on. He said he asked it on.
fucking.
yours.
Do you know what McGinley's answer was to this on the Celtic Thunder about best piece? A piece and butter.
He's a freak, that boy.
What a fucking weirdo of a
Absolute
boy. He said a piece and butter. I was like,
Check
sorry.
his-
Oh, he's for the watching, isn't he?
A piece and butter.
A piece and butter. And then I said, right, if you want to put something on it, we put on it. And he said, Billy Bear meat.
He's actually from
mate.
He's cool bunch, isn't he? But
He's
this
some boy,
is
isn't
a
he?
question depending on mood, because it depends what you're after. Because I don't think you can
Piece
beat a
and
good
crisp,
old,
mate.
you can't beat a good old piece and jam for me. But at the same time, I'd like a piece and sausage just now because I'm starving.
Piece and Chris.
Piece and sausage.
Canny
tomato
what?
sauce.
I'm actually going to go home and make
Aye.
a piece and Chris. Fucking love it.
He
Cheese
did
on
ask
the
for a
waffles.
roll, so I'm a roll and square, mate. Easy.
If it's not a roll, it's
I thought you said it was a piece.
He says a piece or a roll.
Oh,
Aye.
roll and
so.
sausage,
Here's
yeah.
my two
Roll and
rolls.
sausage?
No, sorry.
For me, it's gotta be.
roll bacon tatty scone.
roll bacon.
Here,
touch
by the
on
way,
this.
a roll and
But-
sausage and eggs good. By the way,
But
a roll and
but
sausage.
You can
and
put
eggs.
egg on any
you
roll.
can't.
Aye, it's just
don't
nice.
ever shut down the opportunity of a roll black pudding fried egg, Ronnie.
I'm taking this
oh,
back.
yeah.
I'm just going to go bacon and egg because a bacon and egg is
but it
brilliant.
But
Bacon
it
touch
depends who's making the bacon. Do you know what I mean? It depends on the bacon.
How do you like your bacon? Are you crispy as fuck?
I like it quite crispy. Aye.
I'm not
I'm
that keen on
soft
But
bacon.
you-
I'm the same.
Everybody
soft
makes
bacon.
a bacon different. Do you know what I mean? Whereas a roll
And
and
are
sausage.
you a crispy roll or a?
I'm a soft.
I'm a
I
soft
like
roll.
both, but soft is
I'm a
what I
soft
picked.
roll.
I'm a crispy
I
because
like a
soft
crispy
stuff
from
for the
time to
ro-
time,
they're for the watching, the ones that pick the soft rolls, but
Why would you not? Why would you
because
want?
it's weird.
See,
You
this
want
is
a
what I
nice-
don't like. See,
It
crispy.
doesn't need to be too
like,
crispy,
controversial.
but
Controversial.
no a soft roll. 'Cause
Crispy
it's
bacon
teeny.
is the most overrated thing in the
I
world.
completely agree.
Because
Crispy
it's,
bacon, aye.
because it's just you're
It's nice
just
though.
crunching onto my bits of
Shite.
porky shite.
I know.
It's
It's
like,
A couple of
Having a
levels
roll of
below.
pork scratch.
I know exactly. It's just so overrated crispy bacon. If it's
Aye.
done right, it can be nice.
Aye, aye.
But most places give you like it's just crunching into shit.
I'm fucking starving.
I'm getting a
Right,
McDonald's
let's
or
wrap this
something.
up. Are we going for McDonald's?
I
Actually?
mean, actually, mate, I'm fucking.
Mate, it's
Wish
about
I
2 in the
was
morning.
Alright, is it?
20 past 1.
Take past one.
plenty
I'm
time
working
yet.
in the morning.
Wish us. Oh, it wasn't 24 hours.
Top beauty game, innit?
Yeah, by the way, this one. So, obviously, I'm a connoisseur with rolls and shit like that. But people get rolls and sausage with curry sauce on them.
Oh no,
By the way,
no.
I would like to try that.
Aye,
I may be alright to try.
Not too
I
much.
thought it
curry,
was.
right enough.
Aye, I thought it was weird when I first heard it, but like people get it. It's weird.
Right, okay. Listen, give us a big like and a big sub. We hit 6,000 subs, eh?
Oh, aye.
Absolutely
thank
flew
you.
by them.
Right. We'll probably see you next week. We're going to get back in a wee routine because I think we're all feeling very refreshed and ready to go again.
I don't.
After a nice month off.
I do. Horrible,
I'm
man.
feeling good. I'm feeling like
That
I'm
first
ready to
half an hour in this podcast was
go. That's 'cause
jobby
we were
stains
talking
for
about
me.
You fucking bottle fucking COVID merchant
Fucking aye.
rats.
COVID
right.
merchant?
Nah, because they relied on COVID on a league time.
Oh yes, of course.
I know.
Right,
Totally,
this is it.
boys.
Let's go.
See you later.